You know when your parents leave you home alone and someone knocks on the door and you start to panic? It would be cool if you could set up traps like in Home Alone. Instead, you hide and pretend no one is home. But what if you didn't hide and you didn't set up traps? What if instead you could prepare yourself for anything by leveling up? Yumiella Darkness has been home alone all her life. Her parents just never seemed to care, even for noble standards. Yumiella wasn't exactly alone. She had her maids, but even they kept away from her, so she may as well have been home alone. Yumiella was born with dark hair, dark eyes, and the ability to use dark magic, all rare traits that are associated with evil. Because of this, no one wanted anything to do with her. In fact, she knew that in 10 years, 4 of her own classmates would take her life from her, because that's what happened in the game she played in her past life. Light, magic, and the hero. If she doesn't change things, she will be completely isolated with no one to rely on. She will end up so desperate for human connection and to please her parents that she will bully her classmates. She will end up hated by 3 men who have a crush on said classmates. She will then end up using her magic out of hatred, and in response, those 4 classmates will put an end to her miserable life. Yumiella decides there's only one decision. The one thing every child who's left home alone does. Prepare for battle. The little girl wanders into the woods and finds a slime, her first target. She uses her dark magic, killing the blue ball. In its place is a dark purple stone. It's not just a stone, of course. It's worth some coins, which she could sell and use to buy certain things. That was actually a lot easier than she thought. So her next step is wandering into a dungeon, because why wait for the thieves to come to you when you can go to them? The dungeon is filled with ferocious monsters. Large, small, agile, sword-wielding, claw-wielding. It's a place not even adults would wander into. But Yumiella spends the next 10 years in and out of that dungeon leveling up. Okay, listen closely because I'm about to tell you the secret to the fastest way to get stronger. And don't worry, you don't have to do 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, or run 1,000 meters a day. This method is very simple. Buy a monster calling device. It could be a flute or a horn. Buy an amulet of growth. Find a dungeon and enter. Make sure you're alone. Then blow the horn to bring all the monsters your way and fight. Stay alive and keep fighting. Once the dungeon is cleared, wait a few minutes and go back in. Blow the horn and fight. Keep this up and you'll reach the pinnacle of human strength. Now Yumiella is 15 years old and it's her first day of school. All she has to do to stay alive is avoid attention and avoid the 4 main characters. What if you had the chance to be like Yumiella Darkness? A villainess destined for a terrible ending, but you can change your fate. Become a powerful ruler or a simple farmer. Make friends, enemies, and lovers. I'm working on a game where you can do all of this, and it's called Villainess Life Simulator. It's a mix between BitLife and the villainess genre, and it's still in early development, but I update monthly, so check the link in the description to begin your villainess journey. Alicia Enlight is a rare user of light magic and the protagonist of the Otome game. Because of her rare gift, she is admitted to the magic school for nobles, despite being a commoner. But maybe it's because she's a commoner, she attracts her 3 love interests who would do anything, and I mean anything, for her. Oswald Grimsard is love interest number 1 and a genius at wielding magic. He has mastered 4 elements: earth, water, fire, and air, and he's also the minister's son. William Aries is love interest number 2. He's a fierce, hot-headed swordsman. He's also the son of a powerful general. Edwin Volshine is love interest number 3, the second prince, and the most annoying of Alicia's potential suitors. It all goes terribly wrong for Yumiella very quickly. How much can you trust a lie detector test? When I search on Google, the first answer says polygraph tests are accurate 80 to 90% of the time. I mean, they're used in shows to judge people's lives, so they must be pretty reliable, right? Let's say one day someone claims they can predict the future. They know everything that will happen 10 years from now. They take a test and it shows that they're telling the truth. They take another test and it shows the same thing. Would you believe them? Yumiella's new school uses a crystal ball to measure the students' level. Most students are at level 1. That's normal. But when William Aries holds the device and it shows level 10, everyone is shocked. I mean, it makes sense, they tell themselves. He's a general's son and works harder than anyone. Now it's Yumiella's turn. She stands, walks to the front and puts her palm on the ball. When it shows the number, the teachers can't believe their eyes. They ask for another ball, because, this one must be broken. Yumiella holds the second one, and it shows the same number. Level 99. Everyone starts whispering. Is this true? Is this even possible? Did she cheat? The teachers still have their doubts, but Yumiella is certain the ball is correct. After all, she cleared a dungeon many times by herself as a child. Lying won't do your reputation any good, she's warned. If you're cheating, it would benefit you to tell the truth now. You're not really level 99, are you? Not even the head teacher believes her. After the entrance ceremony is a buffet party. Yumiella stands alone in a corner watching as her classmates mingle. There's no one for her to talk to, so she decides to leave. Just at that moment, William Aries, the level 10 swordsman, runs up to her. I know that as a noble, you want to stand out, but have you no shame? He starts shouting at her. Leave her alone. The prince walks towards them. There's no point yelling at her. She's a central noble wannabe. He turns to Yumiella now. What you did was disrespectful. William works harder than anyone, and that's how he reached level 10, before even joining the school, and your stunt just trampled all over his hard work. Out of nowhere, Oswald appears next to the prince. Seriously, level 99? You should have chosen something more believable if you were going to cheat. He glares at Yumiella. Throughout all of this, Yumiella remains confident and unfazed, even if she's talking to the 3 most powerful sons in the kingdom. But I am level 99. I didn't cheat. She tells them. So that means you can take me on. William challenges her, and I am sat at the edge of my seat, waiting for her to put these 3 in their place. But these are the very people she's been trying to avoid, so to avoid spending any more time with them, she reminds them that Alicia, the light magic protagonist, is all alone at a social gathering filled with unfamiliar nobles, and the 3 guys quickly rush back inside to help the lost girl. Classes have finally begun, and the first lesson is sword fighting. The teacher gives Yumiella a wooden sword and tells her to go first. But there's one problem. Yumiella has never wielded a weapon. Her whole life, she's relied on her magic, and her opponent is William Aries. Not only is he the general's son, he grew up learning how to sword fight. It's his specialty. As Yumiella prepares herself, William does a few practice swings, and you can hear the wooden weapon cutting through the air. He's clearly strong as well as skilled. William and Yumiella take their stance, and the other students break out in laughter, as if they've just seen the funniest thing ever. It's obvious that Yumiella is a beginner just by looking at her. William charges towards her, and then he trips, landing flat on his face. He gets back up, face red from the bruise, and raises his sword again. Yumiella parries with so much strength, she sends William flying and knocks him out. Since she's the reason he's knocked out, Yumiella offers to carry him to the nurse's office. The teacher looks afraid and tells her, don't worry, I'll do it. You can just stay here, everyone. Stay here, continue the lesson, but no one fight anyone, please. And he leaves and declares Yumiella the winner of the battle. Now, the next class is magic based, and the guy in her group this time is Oswald, the magic genius who mastered 4 elements. The task is for the students to demonstrate their magic. All they have to do is hit the suit of armor standing at a distance. It's reinforced with very powerful magic, so the students don't have to worry about scratching it, let alone breaking it. Each of the students manifest their magic. When they release it at the target, it doesn't really do much. Actually, it doesn't really do anything. But that's fine, they're just students after all. And now, it's Oswald's turn. Everyone watches in anticipation. He first manifests earth, then fire, then water, and then air. Every time the armor moves about, showing just how strong his abilities are. He's so cool, the students whisper. Even the teacher's amazed. Just as I expected from someone like you, she tells him. You're up next, Yumiella Dognus. Show us what your so-called level 99 magic can do, Oswald tells her. At this point, I don't think anyone knows that Yumiella uses dark magic, but they're about to find out. Is it okay if I break the armor? She asks her teacher. Sure, you can try, but don't feel bad if you fail since it's reinforced with magic. Yumiella stands, extends her hand towards the target, and a tiny shadow emerges. It's about the length of a pinky finger, and it moves really slowly towards the armor. It's actually pretty unimpressive looking, and everyone agrees. All that talk for such miniature magic, they all start whispering. When her magic finally reaches the armor, it spreads from the top to the bottom, eating away at the metal as it moves like a flame. I mean, it's called dark flame, but it's not hot to the touch, it's just incredibly powerful. It leaves nothing behind except the boots, which eventually fall to the ground. The students move away from her. Was that dark magic? The teacher tries to explain that dark magic isn't evil. There's even been palace officials in the past who used it, but everyone's too shocked and too scared to even listen. And just at that moment, in comes the second prince. Following behind him is the head teacher. The head teacher presents a piece of paper. A liar like you is unfit for this school and honestly unfit to be a noble. I have processed the paperwork to have you expelled. I'm sure you will find it difficult to live in this country after rumors spread of your expulsion. So it turns out that the school is very well known, and students that are thrown out have their reputation damaged. Yumiella is still unaffected by all of the insults and disrespect. She tells the head teacher she doesn't mind moving to another country. It might even be kind of good for her. And she talks as if it's a vacation, which I just love. I love her responses to these people. The magic teacher that was just teaching that lesson that was interrupted, she gets down on her knees in front of the head teacher and begs him to reconsider the expulsion. She tells him that throwing Yumiella out would be a huge loss to the kingdom. So the head teacher agrees to revoke Yumiella's expulsion if she can prove that she's level 99. Yumiella decides to once and for all clear her name and thinks of her most powerful spell, Black Hole. As soon as she says the words, a gigantic black hole appears in the sky above the kingdom. Everyone looks up. What's that? All over the kingdom, a sudden gush of wind throws buildings into chaos. When citizens look up, they're overtaken by fear at the sight. With that, Yumiella's name is cleared, and she is now feared throughout the kingdom. And that is Home Alone as an Isekai. You venture out, level up, and reach the max level so no one messes with you. I recommend watching the anime as I skipped quite a few details to keep the video short. Don't forget to check out Villainess Life Sim, and thank you for watching. Have a nice day.